Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji, Honorable Minister of Transport Goa, Shri Mavin Gudinoji, Secretary Department of Economic Affairs, Shri Ajay Seth, Secretary Revenue, Shri Tarun Bajaj, Chairman CBIC, Shri Vivek Johari, Chairperson CBDT, Srimati Sangeeta Singh, members of CBIC, CBDT, other senior officers of the Ministry of Finance, colleagues, and esteemed guests. आम्ही तुमचे या सोहळ्याक येवकार करता. A very warm welcome to all our esteemed guests in the concluding events of the iconic week celebrations of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It is a matter of great honor for all of us that Honorable Finance Minister has graced this occasion with her august presence. Deep Jyoti hi Parabrahma, Deepah Sarvat Mopah, दीपेन साधते सर्वम संध्या दीप नमोस्तुते। मैं सभी माननीय अतिथिगणों से निवेदन करती हूं कि वे दीप प्रज्वलन कर कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें। A program in Goa cannot be complete without a mention of the eminent artist Mario de Miranda. A quintessential Goan, he defined the way in which Goa was perceived by the outside world. He was an iconic figure who threw his innumerable murals to Goa to India. It is only fitting that we take a piece of Goa with us to cherish the memories of the iconic week celebrations. The souvenir which CBIC will now be presenting to the dignitaries depicts a painting of the Blue Building housing the Customs and GST Museum made by the Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri awardee Shri Mario. I request Shri Vivek Johari, Chairman CBIC, to present the souvenir to Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji. To Honorable Minister of Transport, Goa, Shri Mavin Gudinoji. Thank you, sir. I now request Srimati Sangeeta Singh, Chairperson CBDT, to present a memento to Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji. Paintings by Mario Miranda truly represent the ethos of Goan culture. And to Honorable Minister of Transport, Goa, Shri Mavin Gudinoji. Thank you, ma'am. I invite Shri Tarun Bajaj, Secretary Revenue, to deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji, Shri Godino, Minister from Goa, Industry, Trade, Commerce, my colleagues sitting on the dais, officers from the CBDT, CBIC, other officers of the state, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege today to welcome both the Union Finance Minister and the Minister from Goa for this occasion, which is what the Department of Revenue will showcase both CBIC and CBDT events, followed by events by Economic Affairs and Department of Expenditure. This also happens to be the finale of the iconic week of the Amrit Mahotsav, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, that was started on the Monday, this Monday, by the Honorable Prime Minister from the Vigyan Bhavan. Ma'am, during this period, I don't know, I might be wrong, but what Annie has told me is that more than 50 iconic events of various departments have been held by Corporate Affairs and all the departments of Ministry of Finance. And this is other than many other events which have been held by the field formations at various places. Every day I have been getting tweets and messages from as far as northeast to the down south to the east, and also from the north, about various events that have been taking place on this iconic week. We started celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav from 15th August last year, and it will continue till 15th August of the next year. And the iconic week had some special event. 1 week has been given to each department or ministry in the Government of India, and we spearhead that week with our major events. But during the whole year and the year ahead, we'll continue to do these events to bring the achievements of the country, which we have done in the 75 years. And as we step into the Amrit Kal, that is up to the 100th year, 2047, what our vision is, what our plans are, will also be unveiled as we go ahead. Ma'am, for shortage of time, I will not tell you the major events that happened, or especially for the audience that is present here. But I would definitely like to mention the event that has just been concluded, where the Honorable Finance Minister has dedicated the museum to the nation. I think I also had the occasion of seeing it along with her, and it is a very impressive museum that has come, and I'll exhort all of you sitting here, if you have not already seen it, that you should see it. I've also requested the Honorable Minister from Goa that this should be part of the tourist circuit in Goa. There are some beautiful artifacts, and these artifacts are those artifacts which have been seized by the customs authorities over long periods of time. There are notable displays, manuscripts. I didn't know that I would see a replica of Aine Akbari and a replica of Amin pillars in a customs museum in the manner that I saw them here. So, other than this, the story of the GST. GST is a young lady she's yet to have her 5th birthday on the 1st of July. But it's a very interesting story that has been weaved, and I think as we go along in the years, there will be more added to that particular museum. So, without taking more time, we have come here to hear the Honorable Union Finance Minister. I would once again, on behalf of the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, once again welcome the Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister and Mr. Godino, the Goa Minister, for this finale of our program, of our iconic week that we have been celebrating since the last week. Thank you.
I now request Sri Ajay Seth, Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, to make the opening remarks.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and it was very gracious of Department of Revenue to given us the space and opportunity to present the story of union budget. And that was something which the budget, union budget is done in secrecy, and it in the North Block, but their story rarely comes out in the open. And over the years, that story has changed as the roles of the Government of India, Union Government, has been changing. It's an interesting story, and I'm grateful to Honorable Finance Minister to give us the idea and also for allowing us to present that story. And it's very nice of you to have come over. And I should mention here that Department of Post has been extremely proactive in facilitating to bring out a my stamp, a customized stamp on this occasion. Thank you very much.
The National Museum of Customs and GST was dedicated to the nation today by the Honorable Finance Minister as a finale to the celebrations of the iconic week of the ministry. During the initial ideations of the iconic week, the Honorable Finance Minister had asked, "Why Goa?" Madam, the museum is housed in the Blue Building, standing in its place for more than 400 years. It is a Grade 1 heritage structure built in circa 1600. The facade of the building took the color Customs Blue in memory of the trade of indigo dye, which was a major commodity of export through this port in the 19th century. The Blue Building happened to be the headquarters of the Alfandega, as the customs administration was known during the Portuguese rule. Spread over 2 floors with tall doors, broad wooden staircases, and huge halls, it is a typical Goan building with Portuguese influence. We shall now see a short film, Dharohar, on the National Museum of Customs and GST.
Goa, the stunning beaches here mesmerize every mind. The state has had an exciting history, and some of those golden pages are dedicated to the Indian Customs Department as well. Another page that is going to be added to it is the National Customs and GST Museum, Dharohar. The Blue Building that houses this museum was established around 1600 AD, and this building has been in use by the Customs and Indirect Taxes Department since then, and is one of the oldest buildings available with the department in the entire country. Situated at the heart of the capital, Panji, the precious historical heritage in this blue-colored building truly reflects the tough and exhilarating aspects of the department. A chapter has been added to this ongoing saga with the setting up of a new gallery in this museum to depict the story of evolution of the biggest tax reform in the history of independent India. Yes, the GST. As a result, today this unique museum, Dharohar, is being dedicated to the nation by the Honorable Union Finance Minister. Dharohar of the fascinating history of Indian indirect tax system. Dharohar, a tribute to the dedication and valor of our customs and GST officers. As soon as we enter the museum, we get a glimpse of the red and green channels at the customs checkpoints, and after this begins the display of amazing artifacts with detailed information about the museum in the introduction gallery. Thereafter, we get to see History of Taxation Gallery, showcasing the historic journey of our tax system till the present day and its contribution to the development of the nation. The next gallery, Guardians of Our Economic Frontier, Battle of Wits, portrays the long-standing, ongoing and ever-evolving conflict between the officials and the smugglers, and highlights the Guardians of Our Economic Frontier aspect of customs function, a game of hide and seek. The Guardians of Our Art and Heritage Gallery represent some of the priceless antiques confiscated and conserved by the department during its long history. The next gallery, Guardians of Our Flora and Fauna, showcases CBIC's efforts in controlling wildlife trafficking, thus maintaining biodiversity. Custodians of Our Social Well-being demonstrates the contribution of the narcotics wing in protecting the society from drug menace by controlling drug trafficking. The next section of the museum is dedicated to the indirect taxes of the country, named as Journey of Indirect Taxes, Salt Tax to GST Gallery. Interactive panels and dioramas like Dandi March present here describe the passion for freedom that was ignited because of the tyranny of taxes during the British era, and how these taxes evolved and changed to become people-friendly and therefore paving the way for the development of our nation. In this section, there is a gallery dedicated to GST economic integration, the biggest and the most revolutionary tax reform ever recorded in the history of this country. In the last section, a souvenir shop and a digital visitor's book have also been set up. Dharohar gives us a unique glimpse into the sharp minds of the department's officers and the extreme challenges they often have to go through. Whenever you come to Goa, don't forget to visit the amazing Customs Museum. The experience will leave you enriched and proud.
The idea of a museum germinated from the need to tell a story. A story of how the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs has changed, grown, progressed, from inheritors of British legacies of regressive taxes on items such as salt to a modern-day facilitator of taxpayers, businesses and international trade, a guardian of the economic frontier. A journey through the 8 galleries of the museum depicts not only the challenges CBIC has faced over the years, but also the changes that have taken place in the international trade and the increasing openness of the Indian economy. A need was felt to tell this story, to educate taxpayers on the role of CBIC and to nudge them towards better compliances. The museum is an eclectic mix of the old and new, using 3D dioramas, interactive digital boards, holographic images, as well as actual artifacts seized during preventive operations by the customs formations across India. I humbly request Honorable Finance Minister to release a catalogue revealing the many treasures housed in the museum. The Goods and Services Tax completes 5 years on 1st of July 2022. There has been a steady progress in the way GST has grown in terms of tax base and collections on one hand, as well as simplification of processes and plugging of leakages on the other. This is also the period which saw 2 years of uncertainty and upheaval due to the COVID-19 pandemic. CBIC has at all times and at all levels been alert to the needs of the stakeholders, the timely changes required to assist taxpayers and to handhold them through it all. The Honourable Finance Minister has constantly been a guiding light and a motivating force, bringing the charge required to ignite the fire. I dare say we have crossed the turbulent seas and emerged triumphant on the other side. However, we promise, Madam, that we shall not let down the vigil. कुछ ज़्यादा ख्वाहिशें नहीं ऐ ज़िंदगी तुझसे, बस मेरा अगला कदम पिछले से बेहतरीन हो. CBIC now brings before you a short film on the evolution of GST through the 5 years.
5 years back, one reform which united India economically, one reform which brought uniformity in taxation, one reform which simplified indirect tax compliance, one reform which removed tax on tax and lowered the tax burden on trade and industry. 1st July 2017, a day written in golden letters in the taxation history of India. The indirect tax system underwent transformation and taxpayers across the nation were introduced to a single tax on consumption of goods and services, wherein 17 taxes and 13 cesses were subsumed. The Goods and Services Tax, commonly known as GST. This new system introduced uniform taxation under its philosophy of one nation, one tax, one market. To make GST effective in achieving its aims, the government adopted a two-pronged approach, augmenting revenue by easing the compliance burden, plugging leakage through better enforcement. This resulted in increasing the tax base. GST is an information technology driven system which, on the one hand, has made return filing process easier through pre-filing of returns on the portal and a number of trade facilitation measures to improve voluntary compliance by the taxpayers, and on the other hand has plugged revenue leakage and fraudulent or wrong availment and utilization of input tax credit through the use of data analytics and better enforcement. In the last 5 years, the journey of Goods and Services Tax has been exceptionally dynamic and rewarding, where the GST Council has proactively reduced the pain points of taxpayers. Let's revisit the journey through the different reforms brought under the GST law and procedures since its introduction on 1st July 2017. At the time of GST rollout, persons having an aggregate annual turnover of above rupees 20 lakhs were required to obtain GST registration. This limit was increased to rupees 40 lakhs. GST registration has been allowed to be made without the requirement of a bank account. GST has brought distinct benefits for small businesses. GST has led to formalization of trade with the availability of seamless input tax credit throughout the supply chain, both within and across states. Several measures have been introduced. Threshold limit of annual aggregate turnover for availing composition scheme for supplier of goods and supplier of restaurant services was increased to rupees 1.5 crore. Composition scheme has also been formulated for supplier of services. A quarterly return has been replaced with an annual return. They can pay their tax liability every quarter. The maximum fee for late filing of return has been reduced and rationalized, allowed to transfer an amount from one head to another in the electronic cash ledger. Unutilized balance in CGST and IGST cash ledger can now be transferred between distinct persons.
Earlier it was difficult for us to do interstate business. हम दिल्ली में थे तो दिल्ली के बाहर हमारे लिए काम करना थोड़ा difficult था because CST 2% लगता था उस टाइम पे, and जो दूसरे buyers हैं वो prefer करते थे कि अपनी state में ही business करें. उनको वहां पे वो CST नहीं चार्ज होता था। तो एक स्कोप हमारा कहीं ना कहीं लिमिट हो रहा था ड्यू टू द टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर। अब क्योंकि वन नेशन वन टैक्स पॉलिसी के अंदर वी आर एबल टू डू बिजनेस इन वेरियस स्टेट्स अंडर द सेम परसेंटेज।
GST has contributed immensely in creating one market by allowing hassle-free movement of goods across state boundaries. The introduction of e-way bill is a monumental shift from the earlier departmental policing model to a self-declaration model. QRMP scheme for taxpayers with turnover of up to rupees 5 crore, which has significantly reduced the number of returns from 24 to 8. The facility of filing of nil return through SMS has been provided to taxpayers. Auto-prepared input tax credit statement, auto-populated return with editing facility has been made available to the taxpayers. This facility has also enabled more people to file return in time. Requirement of furnishing annual returns by taxpayers with annual turnover of up to rupees 2 crore has been waived. Further, requirement of furnishing reconciliation statement by taxpayers with annual turnover of rupees 5 crore is also waived. The annual return can be furnished under self-certification by the taxpayer. Refund process has been made completely automated and refund is disbursed centrally. Special facility has been created for merchant exporters to allow them to procure goods from domestic suppliers at a nominal GST of 0.1% for export.
As far as refunds for our export related taxes or duties, it takes only 10 days. Even though government says 60 days, from the time we file the refund, it takes 10 to 12 days. Everything is digital.
Electronic invoicing system, a rapidly expanding technology which helps taxpayers in backward integration and automation of tax relevant processes, was introduced for taxpayers. Some of the important steps taken in this regard are: Aadhaar authentication for new applicants has been made mandatory, blocking of GSTR1 for non-filing of GSTR3B, blocking of e-way bills on non-filing of returns, blocking of input tax credit available in electronic credit ledger DGARM, makes use of big data analytics for taking targeted action against the tax evaders and entities involved in issuance of fake bills. The introduction of GST and its continual improvement under the aegis of GST Council has brought significant benefits to the tax system. Availability of resources to the central and state governments and the economy as a whole. This helps reduce regional imbalances. Steady increase in tax base and compliance rate has resulted in continuously growing monthly average GST revenue collection. This increase becomes even more impressive if seen in the backdrop of the challenges posed by the COVID pandemic on the business environment. The success story of Indian GST is being duly acknowledged worldwide. Chris Woods, Global Head of Equity Strategy at Jefferies, notes that the introduction of GST can now be proclaimed a major success. These 5 years of GST have been remarkable in providing a boost to flagship programs like Make in India, Self-Reliant India, Export and Import Competitiveness, Ease of Doing Business, Formalization of the Economy, Improved Logistics, Better Trade Practices, and has made the entire indirect tax system in the country a good and simple tax.
I now invite Srimati Archana Chaudhary, Principal Director General, Admin and Taxpayer Services, to unveil the iconic events on behalf of Central Board of Direct Taxes.
Honorable Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Ji, Honorable Minister of Transport Shri Movin Godinoji, Shri Ajay Sen, Secretary DEA, Shri Shri Tarun Bajaj, Secretary Revenue. Shri Ajay Seth, Secretary DEA. Shri Tarun Bajaj, Secretary Revenue. Chairman CBIC, Shri Vivek Johri. Chairperson CBDT, Srimati Sangeeta Singh. Members of CBDT and CBIC. Distinguished guests from the state and district administration. Special invitees, school children from Goa, and friends from the media. I welcome you all to the CBDT's iconic event under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The Central Board of Direct Taxes, inspired by the ideals of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, has been commemorating 75 years of independence since March 2021. Over the last year, the department has carefully blended the department's mission and core values with the central themes under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to create events and projects that truly reflect the vision of the department for 2047. 25 years from now, the world will be a transformed place. As an organization which contributed rupees 14.09 lakh crores to the exchequer last financial year, the one question that we have always asked ourselves is, are we geared up to deliver to the taxpayers of 2047? Do we have systems and processes in place that take account of the aspirations and needs of India at 100? These are questions that fundamentally reorient our understanding of taxpayer needs and expectations. We are on the path with the implementation of faceless assessments and faceless appeals, increased use of digital medium, and increased focus on taxpayer services. And we firmly believe that at the center of Honorable Prime Minister's call to celebrate Amrit Mahotsav is the theme of resolve at 75, which pushes us to chart a course through Amrit Kal. While the celebration shall continue till August 2023, the iconic event gave us an opportunity to think, reflect, and introspect under the guidance of Honorable Finance Minister and take further steps towards creating a strong, self-reliant, and resilient India over the next 25 years. Today's event is an earnest effort by Central Board of Direct Taxes to quick start a new chapter in enhancing and reinforcing tax literacy in the country. The step is towards tax literacy, sensitizing the citizens about the importance of tax, their participation and contribution in the process of nation building. The games, 3D puzzle, and comic books are aimed at the young, who will be the taxpayers of 2047 and Amrit Kal. These games shall inculcate the right values and good habits in respect of taxes through an engaging and innovative manner. The Income Tax Department shall be distributing these games to different schools from across the country with an aim to spread tax literacy. We trust this step will be the first of many more incentives that will work towards building an informed and voluntarily compliant taxpayer base. Thank you so much, Madam. With these words, I now call upon the state Subhash Jangala to take the iconic event of the CBDT forward.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaskar to the august gathering present here at the Macmanus Palace today on the occasion of the iconic week of the Ministry of Finance being celebrated under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I am Subhash Jangala, Joint Director of Income Tax, and I belong to the city of Visakhapatnam. And it is a great honor standing here on this momentous occasion as the Income Tax Department embarks on a new journey, a journey that will take us to 2047. Respected Madam Finance Minister, with your permission, I would like to commence the iconic event of the Central Board of Direct Taxes. Thank you, ma'am. One of the themes of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is the commemoration of milestones in India's past and the ideas and ideals that will guide us through the period of Amrit Kal. Tax administration, being one of the oldest institutions in the country, has been both a participant and a witness of the country's transformation since independence. Powered by the uninterrupted contributions by taxpayers and the untiring efforts of the Income Tax Department, India is now fully equipped to take its rightful position in the new world order emerging in a post-COVID world, as envisaged under the Actions at 75 theme, in order to highlight the steps being taken to implement policies and actualize commitments. The Income Tax Department, inspired by Honorable Finance Minister's vision, has conceptualized and produced a short film on the pivotal role played by our taxpayers in nation building and the reforms that the department has undertaken to further our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of minimum government, maximum governance. The film, ladies and gentlemen, is being produced in 10 regional languages, including Odia, Assamese, Bengali, and Gujarati. I request the Honorable Finance Minister to launch the short film by pressing the button.
प्रगति के पथ पर, विकास के रथ पर, हर मुश्किल राह में, नए भारत की चाह में हम चले हैं साथ साथ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ। जी हां, आजाद भारत हो या नया भारत, पूरी मेहनत, लगन, ईमानदारी और प्रतिबद्धता से राष्ट्र निर्माण में अपनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहा है आयकर विभाग। कदम से कदम मिलाकर देश के विकास के हर संकल्प को सिद्धि तक पहुंचा रहे हैं आयकर दाता। 1860 में अपनी स्थापना से अब तक आयकर ने एक लंबा सफर तय किया है। 15 अगस्त 1947 को देश आजाद हुआ। नई चुनौतियां, नई जिम्मेदारियों के साथ भारतवासियों के सपनों को पूरा करने और राष्ट्र निर्माण में आयकर विभाग का योगदान अतुलनीय रहा है। अस्पताल, सड़कें, पुल, कॉलेज, स्कूल, बिजली, रेल ने भारत के विकास को नई गति दी है। आयकर दाता अगर भारत की जीवन रेखा है, तो आयकर विभाग राष्ट्र की रीढ़ की हड्डी है, जो हमें विश्वास दिलाता है कि हम हमेशा आपके साथ हैं। कर व्यवस्था को मजबूत बनाने और आयकर दाताओं को बेहतर सेवाएं देने के लिए समय समय पर आयकर विभाग में कई सुधार किए गए। 1945 में आयकर अधिकारी क्लास 1 सेवा के प्रथम बैच की भर्ती हुई, जिसे बाद में भारतीय राजस्व सेवा के नाम से जाना गया। 1957 में नागपुर में भारतीय राजस्व सेवा प्रत्यक्ष कर स्टाफ कॉलेज की शुरुआत हुई, ताकि आयकर विभाग के वरिष्ठ अधिकारी अधिक कौशल और निपुणता से अपनी जिम्मेदारी निभा सके और आयकर दाता को बेहतर सेवाएं दे सके। 1961 में ऐतिहासिक आयकर अधिनियम अस्तित्व में आया, जो अभी भी उपयोग में है। 1963 में केंद्रीय राजस्व बोर्ड को केंद्रीय प्रत्यक्ष कर बोर्ड तथा केंद्रीय उत्पाद एवं सीमा शुल्क बोर्ड के रूप में अलग अलग किया गया, ताकि प्रत्यक्ष कर प्रशासन को अधिक योग्य बनाया जा सके। 1966 में इंटेलिजेंस विंग की स्थापना हुई। इससे वांछित जानकारी एकत्रित की गई, ताकि टैक्स बेस बढ़ाया जा सके। 1972 में परमानेंट अकाउंट नंबर की प्रणाली शुरू हुई। इससे भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था को औपचारिक और डिजिटलाइज्ड करने में मदद मिली। सबका मकसद आयकर दाताओं को श्रेष्ठ सेवाएं देना तो था ही, देश के विकास को नई गति देना भी था। सुधारों का ये दौर चलता रहा। 1983 में कार्य प्रणाली को और सुगम बनाने हेतु चालान प्रोसेसिंग के लिए कंप्यूटरीकृत प्रणाली की शुरुआत हुई। 1988 में बेनामी लेन देन की रोकथाम के प्रायोजन से बेनामी लेन देन निषेध अधिनियम लागू किया गया। इससे आयकर विभाग को इस दिशा में समुचित अधिकार प्राप्त हुए। 1999 में देश के निर्माण में करदाताओं के योगदान को देखते हुए आयकर दाताओं के लिए सम्मान योजना की शुरुआत हुई। 2004 में एक सुदृढ़ राष्ट्रीय डेटाबेस तैयार करने हेतु एनुअल इंफॉर्मेशन रिटर्न की शुरुआत हुई। 2009 में सेंट्रलाइज्ड प्रोसेसिंग सेंटर की स्थापना आयकर विभाग के लिए एक परिवर्तनकारी कदम था। इससे विभाग ने सही मायने में टेक्नोलॉजी के युग में प्रवेश किया।
यकीनन आयकर दाताओं के लिए किए गए ये तमाम रिफॉर्म उन्हें ये विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि आयकर विभाग उनके लिए पूरी प्रतिबद्धता के साथ अपना कर्तव्य निभा रहा है।
पूरा देश आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है। जन जन तक अपनी सेवाएं पहुंचाने के लिए 18 क्षेत्रों में खुले आयकर के सैकड़ों कार्यालय, जहां देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूत बना रहे हैं, वही भारत के विकास के प्रतीक भी हैं। Income taxpayers have contributed in achieving several remarkable milestones. Green Revolution, White Revolution, First Nuclear Test, Make in India, Digital India, Atal Tunnel and Purvanchal Expressway stand tall amongst those achievements. This journey of progress and reform is reflected in the Income Tax Department as well. Initiatives like e-filing of return in 2009, launch of simplified form Sugam in 2011 and launch of Traces Portal in 2012 were all aimed at easing tax compliance. 2014 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने सबका साथ सबका विकास, 2019 में सबका विश्वास, 2021 में सबका प्रयास का मूल मंत्र दिया, जो भारत को विकास की नई ऊंचाइयों पर पहुंचा रहा है। युवाओं के लिए नए अवसर, महिलाओं की सुरक्षा, शिक्षा, स्वरोजगार, कोविड संकट काल में करोड़ों लोगों को मुफ्त राशन वितरण और 195 करोड़ से अधिक टीकाकरण, सब में आयकर दाता ने अपना महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दिया है। Inspired by the call of Honorable Prime Minister to work towards minimum government, maximum governance, several reforms were implemented during this period in the Income Tax Department. Faster and simplified e-filing, Aadhaar PAN linking, e-payment, e-verification, annual information statement, instant PAN, faceless assessment and faceless appeal schemes are some of the steps taken towards creating an effective, efficient and taxpayer-friendly administration. In financial year 2021-22, the country saw direct tax collection of rupees 14.09 lakh crores, which is the highest figure of direct tax collections in independent India. The taxpayers of this country, in partnership with the Income Tax Department, made this achievement possible. आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव पर और देश के अमृत काल में आयकर विभाग अपना दायित्व निभा रहा है, नए भारत की पहचान बन रहा है और नए भारत के निर्माण में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दे रहा है। Income Tax Department salutes the taxpayers of India for their contribution towards nation building.
Thank you, ma'am. Comics, ladies and gentlemen, are not just a medium of communication or a playful diversion. They represent, in a scaled-down version, a society's culture and its sentiments. A comic book offers a unique opportunity to inform and guide our children about what supports the sustenance, growth and advancement of the country. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrates 75 years of independence, and exactly 75 years ago, the first edition of Chanda Mama, one of the oldest comic books in the country, was released in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Madam, it is a matter of great pride that the Income Tax Department, inspired by your guidance and during the celebrations of Amrit Mahotsav, has conceptualized and designed a set of 3 comic books. The comic books, through the world-renowned Indian characters of Motu and Patlu, endeavor to ingrain in the minds of today's children the importance of fulfilling a crucial duty, that is paying taxes. Through the use of Motu and Patlu's distinctive dialogue, the hilarious interaction with their friends, and 3 new characters, Taxpayer, Jankari Babu, and Taxa, an artificial intelligence-based virtual tax assistant, the department marks the commencement of a new medium of outreach. Keeping in mind the Prime Minister's vision of transforming India into a digitally empowered knowledge economy, the comic book series is digital. The department's comic book series, Madam, is in India's regional languages, including Hindi, English, Gujarati, Tamil, and Telugu, soon to expand to other languages as well. I request the Honorable Finance Minister to launch the digital comic books by pressing the button. Thank you, sir. In 2021, the Honorable Prime Minister had called on the people of the nation to nurture and strengthen the toy economy of the country, highlighting the gaming industry's ability to bring progress and growth by creating jobs, sparking innovation, and creating new modes of employment. Inspired by this call and the vision of imparting to the taxpayers of tomorrow an understanding of taxes, the Income Tax Department has conceptualized and produced 2 board games and a 3D puzzle with the aim to engage, entertain, and educate our children. Gamification is an educational approach that seeks to motivate students by incorporating game design and game elements in learning environments to capture their interest and inspire them to continue learning. It is a proud moment for the department, Madam, as it takes today, under your visionary leadership, the first steps towards gamifying tax education. The first game, Snakes, Ladders and Taxes, utilizes the timeless template of Snakes and Ladders to explain the significance of tax-compliant behavior to children. As they roll the dice, the snakes and the ladders in the game inform the children of the rights and the wrongs in the world of paying taxes. Snakes, Ladders and Taxes is being produced in regional languages including Hindi, Telugu and Tamil, soon to expand in other regional languages as well. I now request the Honorable Finance Minister to inaugurate the department's first foray into gaming by digitally launching Snakes, Ladders and Taxes by pressing the button.
The Income Tax Department has come up with an interesting game for kids, Snakes, Ladders and Taxes. Through this game, the children will learn about the importance of income tax as how income tax plays an important role in the development of the country. After 25 years, that is, in 2047, India will complete 100 years of independence and today's kids will become responsible taxpayers of the country. So let's try playing this interesting game. Great! You have stopped your friend from paying cash to purchase a laptop. For this great job of yours, you will get a chance to climb up the ladder. Clean money creates a healthy society. Alert! There is an income tax surge at your place. Black money has been seized from your home after the income tax surge. Black money is not good for the country. Had fun, right? In reality, when we are paying income tax on time, we are contributing towards nation building. This should be taught to the future generation also. For this, an interesting game like Snakes, Ladders and Taxes is the most easy and suitable way. Every taxpayer is a nation builder.
India demonstrates the participative nature of taxation and the country's infrastructure through a synthesis of memory challenges and collaborative gameplay. Just like paying taxes, where every single person's contribution is crucial to the development of society, in building India, the players work together to collaborate and use their memory to keep India strong, safe and resilient. Madam, may I request you to digitally launch Building India, the second board game of our series, by pressing the button.
PM Kisan, PM Awas. Different card. Your turn, Raju. Wow, same card. सागरमाला. अब ये दोनों कार्ड मेरे हुए और ये टोकन मैं बोर्ड पर लगा देता हूँ.
ये कौन सा खेल खेल रहे हैं और ये कैसे खेला जाता है? बिल्डिंग इंडिया गेम. इसे आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के दौरान आयकर विभाग ने बनाया है ताकि बच्चे आयकर के महत्व के बारे में शिक्षित हो सकें. बिल्डिंग इंडिया गेम. 1 गेम बोर्ड, 25 टोकन्स, 1 हैप्पीनेस टोकन, 50 कार्ड्स. इसे खेलना बहुत आसान है. गेम बोर्ड को टेबल पर रखिए. हर खिलाड़ी 2 कार्ड उठाएंगे. अलग अलग कार्ड होने पर कार्ड वापस रख देंगे. दोनों कार्ड सेम होने पर खिलाड़ी गेम बोर्ड पर 1 टोकन लगाएगा. साथ ही हैप्पीनेस टोकन नीचे की तरफ आएगा. खिलाड़ी ये कार्ड अपने पास रख लेगा. खेल के अंत में जिस खिलाड़ी के पास सबसे ज्यादा कार्ड होंगे वो विनर माना जाएगा.
बिल्डिंग इंडिया गेम मैं भी अपने बच्चों के लिए आज ही लाऊंगा.
हे, मैं जीत गया.
बिल्डिंग इंडिया गेम. आज के बच्चे बनेंगे 2047 के आयकर दाता. आज सीखेंगे, कल अपनाएंगे, नया भारत बनाएंगे. बिल्डिंग इंडिया गेम की तैयारी विकास का सफर है जारी.
Thank you, sir. India Gate, a 3D puzzle, educates children about the fundamental building blocks of taxation while augmenting spatial awareness and hand-eye coordination. Brick by brick, as they build the monument, they will be introduced to how taxes are the very bricks out of which the physical and social infrastructure of the country is built. India Gate 3D puzzle is being produced in regional languages, including Hindi, Telugu and Tamil, soon to expand in other regional languages as well. It is my honor to request the Honorable Finance Minister to digitally launch India Gate 3D puzzle by pressing the button.
The Income Tax Department has come up with an informative game for children, India Gate 3D Puzzle. By playing this game, children will be able to understand how income tax paid by us plays a crucial role in the growth and development of our country. So, let's try playing this interesting game. India is built through a collective effort. Permanent account number, PAN, which is used to uniquely identify each taxpayer in the country. Advance tax, just like you need to pay rent every month or buy groceries every month, the government also needs to spend every month for roads, airports, fuel and food grains. So, income tax is paid by people at regular intervals and is known as advance tax. And now our puzzle is complete. Had fun, right? In reality, when we are paying income tax on time, we are contributing towards nation building. This should also be taught to the future generation. And for this, a game like India Gate 3D Puzzle is the easiest and most engaging way. Every taxpayer is a nation builder.
Thank you, madam. While the comic books shall be digitally available on our portals for ease of access by children across the country, we have a set of books printed and ready, waiting to be launched. May I request you, madam, to inaugurate the books and set in motion this new medium of outreach of the Income Tax Department. Thank you, madam. While the board games have been launched digitally, we also have the games manufactured and ready to be inaugurated. Shortly, these games would be dispatched to the various field formations of the Income Tax Department to be distributed to schools across the length and breadth of the country. I now request you, madam, to inaugurate the physical board games. Thank you, madam. We have with us today the taxpayers of 2047. In the 9th standard today, they are aspiring young children of the country who would be honored to receive the board games and the comic books from you, madam. I invite Kartikeya, Aryan, Amrusha, Sia and Rakshita from the LD Samanth Memorial High School and Riddhi, Anika, Krutharth, Prajwal and Riya from the Sharada Mandir School to come onto the dais and receive the board games and the comic books from the Honorable Finance Minister. Madam, may I request you to kindly hand over the board games and the comic books to the school children.
चला
Thank you, ma'am. Most great civilizations are characterized by the advancement and the diversity of their art forms. In a country like ours, with more than 7,000 kilometers of golden undulating stretches of coastline, it was only a matter of time before an art form emerged. It is said that about 700 years ago, along the beaches of Puri in Odisha, sand art took birth as a unique art form. Using only sand, water, and tremendous amounts of dedication, Indian sand artists have been able to carve a niche for themselves in this field. One name that stands out is that of Sri Sudarshan Patnaik. Having spent his childhood playing on the sands of the Puri beach, he pursued his passion for sand art with an indomitable will. He has used sand art as a medium to create social awareness amongst people on topics as wide and as important as world peace, protection of wildlife, terrorism and global warming, which have been extensively covered by national and international media. As a recognition of his achievements, the Government of India honored him with the Padma Shri in 2014. Today, to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Income Tax Department has partnered with Sri Sudarshan Patnaik. This sand art commemorates the contribution of the Income Tax Department and the taxpayers to nation building, which is reflected in the growth in direct tax collections from rupees 88 crores in 1947 to rupees 14,09,000 crores in 2022. Sri Sudarshan Patnaik and Team Income Tax Odisha are presently at the site of the sand art and are keenly looking forward to the inauguration. Madam, Due to inclement weather in Odisha, the sound and video reception may not be at their best at the moment. I request the Honorable Finance Minister to virtually inaugurate the sand art installation and dedicate it to the nation by pressing the button. I now invite Shri Sudarshan Patnaik and Shri Y. Rajendra, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax Odisha, to please come onto the screen. Madam, Shri Sudarshan Patnaik is on the left and Shri Y. Rajendra, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax Odisha, is on the right.
Good evening, Madam. I take this opportunity to virtually invite the Honorable Union Minister, Finance and Corporate Affairs, with Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Minister, Government of Goa, Sri Mavin Godino, Secretary Revenue, Sri Tarun Bajaj, Secretary Economic Affairs, Sri Ajay Sheth, Chairperson CBDT, Sri Sangeeta Singh, Chairman CBIC, Vivek Johari, and all the dignitaries at Goa, to the East Coast and to the city of Puri, the abode of Lord Jagannath and the seat of knowledge established by the Adi Shankar Acharya. And I present Mr. Sudarshan Patnaik to you, Madam. He is here.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
नमस्कार सुदर्शन पटनायक जी।
नमस्ते मैडम।
एकदम अच्छा सा एक प्रदर्शनी आपने समुद्र के तट पर दिखाया। कुछ उसके बारे में, उसके लिए आपने कितनी भी मेहनत उठाई सुबह से, आप एक्सप्लेन कर पाएंगे?
नमस्ते ऑनरेबल मैडम। 2 दिन से हम लोग के साइंस स्कल्पचर प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं। भले ही यहाँ पर पुरी में थोड़ा वेदर कंडीशन खराब है, बट इसके साथ लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ जी का ब्लेसिंग्स हमारे साथ रहे। और मेरे साथ जो हमारे सैंड आर्ट के स्कूल के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, हमारे साथ मिलके हम लोगों ने 2 दिन से ये प्रिपरेशन किया। और इसमें हमने सैंड में दिखाया कि अराउंड 50 टन्स ऑफ सैंड यूज हुआ है स्कल्पचर्स बनाने के लिए। और आजादी से अभी तक जो डेवलपमेंट हुआ उसी को रेत के थ्रू ये स्कल्पचर्स बनाया है। और जैसे कि पूरी बीच का जो सैंड है वो हमारे लिए होली सैंड है, और वो होली सैंड को जोड़ के जो भारत की जो डेवलपमेंट हुई है आजादी से अभी तक, उसी को हम लोगों ने क्रिएट किया है।
आपके साथ जो स्कूल के बच्चे आप बोल रहे थे, वो बच्चे हैं आपके साथ अभी?
थोड़ा दूर में है।
कैमरा उधर तक नहीं जा पाएगा, क्योंकि उन बच्चों को भी हम सब बधाई देना चाहते हैं कि एक कलाकार के साथ टैक्स के विषय में इतने से पार्टिसिपेशन उन्होंने किया, वो भी अच्छा होगा।
इसमें मैडम कुछ दिखाया है कैसे, और इसमें स्पेशली कलर सैंड भी यूज किए हैं स्कल्पचर्स में।
थोड़ा बताइए।
ये कलर सैंड भी यूज किए हैं, और इसमें जो डिफरेंट कलर्स का सैंड होता है, एक्चुअली सैंड आर्ट पुरी में 14th सेंचुरी में शुरू हुआ था। उसके बाद जब हमने इंटरनेशनली देखा कि सैंड के वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप होता है और इतने सारे कॉम्पिटिशन्स होता है जहाँ पर देश विदेश से बहुत सारे स्कल्पटर्स आते हैं, तो हमने कोशिश किया कि कैसे थोड़ा डिफरेंट कर सकते हैं। तो इसलिए हम लोगों ने कलर सैंड क्रिएट किया, जो सैंड के ऊपर इसको डेकोरेटिवली यूज करते हैं, और उसके बाद फिर इसको रख के नेक्स्ट स्कल्पचर्स पे यूज करते हैं। और सैंड में इसी पूरी बीच में हम लोगों ने अराउंड 8 वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड्स क्रिएट किए हैं, इंक्लूडिंग गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड्स, और वर्ल्ड की डिफरेंट प्लेसेस में भी हमने बहुत सारे स्कल्पचर्स किए हैं। जब जीएसटी लॉन्च हुआ था हमने बहुत बड़ा स्कल्पचर्स पूरी बीच में वेलकम करके भी यहाँ पर स्कल्पचर्स हम लोगों ने क्रिएट किया था।
All the young boys are joining, madam.
आपका नाम मुझे शायद बताया नहीं है, लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा और मैडम भी आपसे पूछना चाहती हैं कि आपने इसको कैसे बनाया और कितने दिन से आप लगे हुए हैं, और क्या ये आप करते हैं या स्पेशली इसके लिए आप आए थे, या आपका ये शौक है और आप हमेशा आके करते हैं? बच्चों में से कोई बोलेगा?
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार, बोलिए।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार, बोलिए। आपके नाम क्या है?
निवेदिता मिश्रा।
बोलिए अभी।
हमने इसको 2 दिन तक प्रिपेयर किया है और हम सभी सर के स्टूडेंट्स हैं। हमारे शौक से यहाँ पर काम करने आते हैं। आर्ट का शौकीन है तो प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए आते हैं।
आपके साथी और कोई बोलना चाहते हैं?
जी। नमस्ते मैम।
नमस्ते।
मेरा नाम शुभश्री मिश्रा है। हम लोग 2 दिन से ये आर्ट बना रहे हैं। हम सारे के स्टूडेंट हैं, यहाँ पे रोज प्रैक्टिस करते हैं बीच पे सैंड आर्ट, और हम सब ने मिलकर ये आर्ट बनाया है।
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा, बधाई हो।
नमस्कार मैडम, मैं एक आर्टिस्ट ऐसे हैं जो मालकानगिरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट से आए हैं, यहाँ से बहुत दूर है, और वो जिस गांव से आए हैं बेसिकली वो यहाँ से इतना दूर है और वो पहाड़ जगह है जहाँ रेत नहीं है, और वो आके यहाँ पर रह के यहाँ पर पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं और साइंस कल्चर भी कर रहे हैं। मैं उनको 1 सेकंड के लिए दे रहा हूँ थोड़ा इनका।
मैडम नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
मेरा नाम मुक्का कबासी, मैं मालकानगिरी से आया है, साउथ ओडिशा।
वेरी नाइस, बॉर्डरिंग विद आंध्रा।
जी
हाँ,
आंध्रा एंड तेलंगाना।
आंध्रा एंड तेलंगाना। आपको इसमें कैसे रुचि, आपको रेत के आर्ट में कैसे इंटरेस्ट बना?
तो मैं एक संवाद पेपर में सुदर्शन जी सर का मैं देखा साउंड कल्चर, वो देखकर मैं पूरी आया।
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा। और इसमें और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हो आप?
जी।
बहुत बढ़िया, वेल डन।
थैंक यू।
आप सबको बधाई। एक बार सुदर्शन जी आपके शिष्य सबका नाम एक बार उनसे कहलवा दीजिए।
नमस्ते मैम, शुभश्री मिश्रा।
यस,
सानो कबास, मुक्का कबासी, राहुल सरदार,
निवेदिता मिश्रा, सरस्वती भोई, स्वाति सोगतिया राव, स्वप्ना गुमान सिंह, तीसरी मिश्रा, सस्मिता नायक,
अनिसा मोदली,
दीप्तिमय प्रधान।
आप सबको बधाई हो। इधर के तालियां आपको सुनाई दे रही है? धन्यवाद, आप सबको धन्यवाद। बहुत शानदार कला आपने दिखाया उधर रेत से। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you very much for giving opportunity to the Odisha Income Tax Department. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. As we commence this journey through Amrit Kal, the department takes this opportunity to rededicate itself to its core values, including integrity, innovation, and professionalism. With the continued guidance of the Honorable Finance Minister, the department shall strive to serve the nation with utmost dedication. Respected Madam, this concludes CBDT's iconic event. Namaskar.
What a sweep we made today. From ancient artifacts of taxation to sand sculptures to future taxpayers. Change, as they say, is the only constant. Both CBIC and CBDT have been in a relentless state of evolution. They are almost unrecognizable today from the times they were conceived in. Joining CBIC as a probationer less than 2 decades ago, we remember studying the bygone era of the Gold Control Act, the physical control in tobacco, documents and application forms in duplicates and triplicates. And here we are, in an age of faceless assessment in income tax and customs, and completely online systems in GST. But always the thought processes of both the departments have been aligned with what is best for the taxpayers. We in the Department of Revenue understand that when compliances are made easier, the taxpayers reward you with an increasing tax base and record-breaking collections. जिंदगी के सफर का बस इतना सा फसाना है, हर रोज बदलती मंजिलें और यूं ही चलते जाना है. I would now like to request Shri Movin Gudino, Honorable Minister Transport Goa, to share his thoughts with us.
The Honorable Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister of India, a very dynamic Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Mr. Ajay Seth, Economic Affairs Secretary, Sangeeta Singh, Chairperson, CBDT, Mr. Tarun Bajaj, our Revenue Secretary, Mr. Vivek Johri, Chairman CBIC, officials of the Finance Ministry present here, officials of the Goa government, the members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Iconic celebrations of Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav. And what a better way to do than launch a national museum by the Finance Ministry of Customs and our GST. I think this is going to be a golden moment in the chapter of Goa. We are a tourism state. Anything that comes up first, anything that adds value to what is to be seen in Goa, and as far as our lovely state is concerned, I think it is a wonderful thing. And looking at the various things presented to us, what does it show? Our country has everything. We are rich in every sense of the word. To get it together in a manner that we ourselves know and learn about it, build on from there, inculcate a good tax culture even among the future of tomorrow, the young children, to bring this in this particular form. I think you all will agree with me. It needs real leadership to marshal your forces, to marshal all your departments, to get the best out of all your officers. I think this is no easy task, and we must compliment. I congratulate the minister for having been nominated again in the Rajya Sabha yesterday, for getting elected yesterday. Ma'am, today I congratulate you for, we are talking of the iconic week, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I thank God that there are iconic people like you to run the finance ministry. I have seen you working from very close quarters in the GST Council. I have been a GST Council member for long. Diverse opinions that there are. In a democracy, they have to be. The way the discussions take place, the way members bring to the fore certain issues, it looks like there is going to be a breaking point. We will not be able to move further. But with the leadership of Nirmala Sitharaman ji, we have been able to cross that. I also recollect the late Arun Jaitley ji. And in today's times, when there is I would say politically people, the daggers are drawn. It's high time we think about our country. It's high time we all think together, at least when our country is concerned. And that is what the GST is. In fact, GST Council functioning, the GST body which is constitutionally constituted, I would say is the best example of a federating structure. The states and the center coming together. But sometimes we, for sometimes narrow political reasons, while having discussions, we think only narrowly about our state interest. We forget that we have to think about the country. And the central ministers, again I will say, another iconic prime minister, a person who is a tall world leader today, Shri Narendra Modi ji and Nirmala ji, have taken the task upon themselves of bringing reforms. GST is one of the biggest reforms, as all of you know, I know. But how many of us recognize the hard work that goes behind that, the deep study that goes behind it? Today, oh yes, I am happy because such a museum has come up here. GST also has been depicted so well. I was so thrilled, in fact, because I have been associated with GST. And if I am so thrilled, what you imagine other people when they go, what they will feel there. This is really a very historic moment for my state. And I want to also place on record here, the 37th GST Council meeting also had taken place in Goa. And I will say one thing, whenever something happens in Goa, Goa is a place where you will get fresh ideas. These are the times for out of the box thinking. You get refreshed automatically, you will get better ideas, and you will get some new thing which will propel you, your ministry, and something for the country and the nation. And that is what I have seen happening when the top scientists have come, the top engineers have come, various conferences. I have been privy to them telling me privately, there is some magic here. Kerala says, Kerala state always says, it's God's own country. I say, God dwells in Goa, in my state. Therefore, it will always propel good in any human being. And that is what I think has happened. While celebrating this iconic week, I think the Finance Ministry has done wonderful programs. I don't want to go into detail. You have seen it pictorially, you have seen it on the screen. But do compliment and do realize that we all have a task cut before us. Many a times we think the great task of nation building is only by some people, only by the Prime Minister, only by the ministers, only by those elected representatives. No. We all have to have a hand in that. We all have to give our best. We have to give our 100%. And it is only then such celebration of such iconic weeks and programs by Finance Ministry will be even more meaningful. Look at somebody in Puri, the art, a person from the hilly area coming and helping his person who is actually doing it, the main sir of his. What does it show? That children have come of age. There is everything available in our country. We only have to polish that rough diamond. We have to make it shine. We have to make it priceless. In the past, our history tells us, we were a stolen nation. Every treasure was stolen from this country. Today we have enough to we have to make it shine. We have to get it out, make it shine. And we have to think as one to take the country forward. And that is what I have also learned in GST. Except one decision on lottery, every decision that has been taken till date today has been by consensus, thanks to the leadership again. Because it is not so easy to get everybody to agree. And it is not that I am trying to sing praises. Even when Goa required help, Honorable Finance Minister has always come to the rescue. I have been making a case for smaller states, that big states need big money. Our smaller states, little money you give, we are able to do miracles. And today, everybody, ma'am, I want to tell you, today is the most preferred destination. We have come out of the pandemic. You have seen how you have helped yourself. You must compliment madam for another thing. During the COVID period, wherever exemptions were required, wherever those particular equipments were required, wherever tax rebates were required, wherever customs exemptions were required, the speed with which she worked helped us overcome COVID. It is simply, it has not happened in a day. It was hard work from your ministry as well, with you as well at the helm. I want to place it on record. These are the type of ministers we have in this government. I am proud of it and to be associated and work together. As far as Goa is concerned, ma'am, you have, I remember at the 37th GST Council meeting, you were kind enough to even, I did it for the whole country and building tourism in the entire country. From 28 it became 18, which today the whole industry talks. Though they had asked for 12%, they are still happy and tourism has been built up from there brick by brick. Today we can compare our rates with other places in the world. Today it is a very competitive world. We have to rise up to that occasion. And as far as Goa is concerned, ma'am, our compensation, though I should not say it here, will come to an end in July. A small state, we are damn afraid what will happen to us, how we will survive. Please bear with me, I hope, because I am saying it here. But I want to say one thing. When I see you organizing and getting the best out of all your officers, they themselves sitting together will perhaps give a solution even to this, so that we smaller states will not suffer, whole country will prosper, and we will see that the dream of Narendra Modi ji of a 5 trillion economy becomes a reality with cooperation of all of you, and particularly the biggest role will be definitely played by the finance ministry. I am very confident. Once again I compliment you and congratulate you, ma'am, for having given Goa this lovely gift of the museum. We will forever remain thankful and we look forward to help for us in the future, and we look forward to your leadership, not only in the GST Council, not only in the Finance Ministry, even otherwise. You are such a figure, literally you get the best out of everyone. People get attracted to you, they come forward, explain, come with ideas like a magnet, and then you put it forward, and that's why things work so well. Wish you all the best on behalf of the people of Goa, on my own behalf, on behalf of all of us here. Let us all work together as one nation, one tax, we say. Let us work as one people for our great country. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir. I am now handing over the mic to Srimati Divya, Director, Department of Expenditure, for the next.
केंद्रीय बजट ने अपनी महत्वपूर्ण यात्रा तय की है। केंद्रीय बजट एक अटूट हिस्सा है भारत के आर्थिक विकास का। डाक विभाग के साथ मिलकर आर्थिक प्रगति के अपने गौरव योगदान की आर्थिक प्रगति की गाथा बता रहा है। आर्थिक कार्य विभाग माई स्टैम्प ऑन यूनियन बजट जर्नी एट 75 एल्बम के विमोचन के साथ। इसके लिए मैं सादर आमंत्रित करना चाहती हूँ सुश्री स्वाति पांडे, पोस्ट मास्टर जनरल गोवा, कि वे अपने विचार प्रस्तुत करें।
Honorable Ma'am, Union Finance Minister, respected Minister from the state of Goa, dignitaries on the stage, and my dear audience. Today is indeed a historic day marked for the fact that the Department of Post and the Department of Economic Affairs have come together to celebrate the Ministry of Finance's iconic week under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The journey of the Union budget as a nation builder
has been incredibly astounding, beginning with the first budget of free and independent India, presented on 26 November 1947, till we attained the latest milestone on February 1st, 2022, of setting the foundation of Amrit Kal. Respected ma'am, one of the most powerful messages of women empowerment for modern India was delivered when you walked down the corridors of Indian Parliament to present the Union Budget, breaking every gender stereotype and motivating every Indian woman to dream and aspire, me included. Coming to the postal stamp to be released today, it is indeed a story of the Union Budget profoundly. It is a set of 9 stamps depicting the decadal thrust areas of the Union Budget. It starts with the story of the young nation and its planned economy focus of the 1950s, to the Green Revolution of the 60s, nationalization of the 70s, communication as a thrust area for the 80s, the great decade of economic liberalization of the 90s, infrastructural needs of the nation in the 2000s, people's orientation in the 2010s, and finally, the digital economy of the 2020s. The latest budget presented by you, ma'am, provides a blueprint for the next 25 years for India at the rate of 100. There is also a special cover released today, which pictorially depicts both the places for the Union Budget, where it is painstakingly drafted, burning much midnight oil, and that too in secrecy, and where it is approved, that is the Parliament building. Like the Union Budget, the Connect of India post with this country and its countrymen is a long saga, throughout which we have been striving to build the nation with our uninterrupted service, being the boots on the ground, reaching the last mile of the remote corners. We have spearheaded financial inclusion, digital literacy, as well as gender-based budgeting initiatives as outlined in the different budgets. This special cover will not only celebrate the rich legacy of the Union Budget, but also the spirit of a united India. I, on behalf of the Department of Post, hereby introduce and present the album of the special cover, the corporate milestone and the brochure to the Honorable Finance Minister. Thank you. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद स्वाति मैम। इसी कड़ी में मैं अनुरोध करना चाहूंगी पीएमजी गोवा से कि वे आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के उपलक्ष्य में बने स्टैम्प एल्बम, स्पेशल कवर और ब्रोशर माननीय वित्त मंत्री को विमोचन करने के लिए भेंट करें। Union budget has been playing a pivotal role in moving the wheels of Indian economy since independence. Successive union budgets have not only given direction to the economy, but also have contributed significantly to the well-being of the citizens and overall development of the country. Let us watch a video which captures the journey of union budget in the last 75 years.
Union budget has been an integral part of India's economic journey since independence and has contributed significantly to well-being of the citizens and overall development of the country. As the custodian of the public resources, the focus of the budget in these 75 years has been mirroring the evolving role of the Union of India as being protective, productive, and redistributive. This journey started with the presentation of the first budget of the free and independent India by Sri R.K. Shanmukham Chetty on 26 November 1947 in the Constituent Assembly of India. The total estimated expenditure for the 7.5 months from the 15th August was about 197 crore rupees, which in today's prices would be around 16,000 crore rupees. The second major milestone in the journey was the first budget of the Republic of India, presented by Sri John Mathai on 28 February 1950. It announced the proposal to request the House to set up the Estimates Committee and also announced the decision to set up the Planning Commission. The third major milestone was the first budget in the elected Parliament on 23rd May 1952 by Sri C.D. Deshmukh. Sri Morarji Desai presented 10 union budgets, most by any finance minister till date. The practice in almost first 5 decades was to present the proposal to request the House to set up the Estimates Committee and also announce the decision to set up the Planning Commission. The third major milestone was the first budget in the elected Parliament on 23rd May 1952 by Sri C.D. Deshmukh. Sri Morarji Desai presented 10 union budgets, most by any finance minister till date. The practice in almost first 5 decades was to present the union budget in the evening at 5 p.m. That practice was changed in the year 1999-2000 to 11 a.m. The journey so far had 76 regular budgets, 14 interim budgets, 4 special budgets. In the initial years after the independence, the focus was on rehabilitation of refugees and defense. In the first decade of 1950s, the focus was on the planned economy. In the next decade of 1960s, Green Revolution and defense occupied the focus. Nationalization was the focus in the decade of 1970s. Communication through expansion of telecom and television occupied the attention in 1980s. The next decade of 1990s saw the budget focusing on economic liberalization. The first decade of the current century focused on infrastructure, starting with the Golden Quadrilateral. The second decade of the current century focused on people orientation and efficient delivery of services. The budgets of the current decade focused on the digital economy and energy transition. The latest milestone is the budget presented during the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav period on 1st February 2022.
We are marking Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and have entered into Amrit Kal, the 25-year-long lead up to India at 100.
The scope of the budget has also changed over the years. For almost 70 years, railway budgets were presented separately. The first railway budget of independent India
was presented by Sri John Mathai on 20th November 1947. In the year 2017-18, the Union Budget subsumed the Railway Budget to bring the railways to the centre stage of government's fiscal policy and would facilitate multi-modal transport planning between railways, highways and inland waterways. The full-year budgets used to be presented on the last working day of February. That practice was changed in the year 2017 to present the budget on 1st February to enable ministries and departments to operationalize all schemes right from the first day of financial year. Traditionally, the budget documents used to be presented in paper form. Those set of documents were carried in large bundles. Since 2021-22, the budget papers are presented in digital form. For enhancing access to the documents by the general public, an app was launched in the same year. As we celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, commemorating 75 glorious years of independence, we salute the brilliance of people behind the budget making.
ये बजट अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूती देने के साथ ही सामान्य मानवी के लिए अनेक नए अवसर बनाए.
The successive budgets, the lifeline of nation's progress, are the torchbearers that have scripted the growth story of our nation with great determination to become Atmanirbhar.
आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव एक पर्व है जो जोड़ता है अतीत को वर्तमान से और वर्तमान को भविष्य से। इस उपलक्ष्य में आज आइए हम सभी वित्त एवं कॉर्पोरेट कार्य मंत्रालयों के कर्मी संकल्प लेते हैं देश सेवा का इस मनमोहक म्यूजिकल वीडियो के साथ जो 11 भाषाओं में भी बन चुका है।
करेंगे हम देश सेवा की कसम, देश सेवा की कसम पूरी करी है पूरी करेंगे हम देश सेवा की कसम, देश सेवा की कसम। आजादी की बोझ से हम बंधे वचन की डोर से भारत के जन का धन संभाले लगा के हमने लिया था सेवा का प्रण आज करे पुनः समर्पण। पूरी करेंगे हम देश सेवा की कसम, देश सेवा की कसम।
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव पर देश के सभी वित्त, बैंक, बीमा और सरकारी कर्मी देशवासियों की सेवा में पुनः समर्पित होने का प्रण लेते हैं।
सारी रकम पूरी करी है पूरी करेंगे हम देश सेवा की कसम। हो जैसे आपकी जरूरत वैसे अपनी महारत हो जहां आपको जरूरत वहां अपनी जमीन छत नए भारत के हरदम साथ चले हम
देश सेवा का भाव कभी न कम होने की कसम लेते हैं।
देश सेवा की कसम, देश सेवा की कसम। देश सेवा की कसम।
हमारे आइकॉनिक वीक की शुरुआत हुई थी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी द्वारा डिजिटल एग्जीबिशन के विमोचन के साथ, जिसका आधार था वित्त एवं कॉरपोरेट कार्य मंत्रालयों के सभी विभागों की उपलब्धियों को प्रस्तुत करना। यह एक विजन था हमारी माननीय वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारामन जी का। एक संगम था विचारों की अभिव्यक्ति का, एक समन्वय था कार्यकलापों का। आज हम अपने आइकॉनिक वीक का समापन कर रहे हैं उसी तरह एक संगम से, जिसका नाम है सप्तधारा। यस, द टाइटल ऑफ आवर कॉफी टेबल ई बुक, मीनिंग कॉन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ 7 स्ट्रीम्स। एक झरोखा हमारे आइकॉनिक वीक के दौरान हुए विभिन्न कार्यक्रमों का, जहां हर विभाग अपने अस्तित्व के साथ एक धारा के समान सम्मिलित हो रहा है एक बड़े संगम में। We are happy to inform you that this e-coffee table book will be uploaded in a very short while on the websites of Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I would like to request Honorable Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs to launch the e-coffee table book with a click of the remote. Thank you.
In beautiful Goa, in the presence of the Honorable Minister, I first of all thank all the officials of the ministry, of the 2 boards, who have tirelessly worked in narrating the story of the Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs over the last 75 years. The objective of Prime Minister indicating to all the ministries that 75 years will have to be marked by clearly showing the activities of each of the department in the last 75 years in the service of our people. I have said this before. Finance Ministry had its own reservations about how effective a campaign can be for a ministry like Finance and a ministry like Corporate Affairs, because the kind of work that this ministry does involves so many things about which when you speak, you don't come out very effectively. After all, when you tax less, people like it. But when you tax on their time by talking to them, they don't like it. So how much can you speak? How much can you showcase by displaying your activities in the form of a book, or in the form of a lecture, or in the form of any kind of a video show? But once we sat through and understood, there were so many such things which are normally not in the public notice. It was worth looking at, also not just for current years, but also looking at the past and putting it out in a very crisp form so that people can understand that this ministry can be seen from various different perspectives, which actually contributes to the nation building. So we started with hesitation, but I must say, end today looks so many different variety of things that has happened. The particular song that we heard, Desh Ki Seva Mein, was so motivating. And I'm sure this can be, occasionally played in the ministry and also anywhere else, because these are the kind of things which gives that spirit of all of us being together for the sake of the nation, like the way the Honorable Minister from Goa concluded his speech. All of us will have to be together in building the nation. But the variety astounds me as well. We are in the western side beach on the shores of Goa, on the Arabian Sea. On the other side you have on Puri's beach, beautiful beach of Puri. Sudarshan Patnaik also participating with the students. And the students also, not just from the town Puri, but also from some of the most backward parts of this country. You have comic books, you also have digital things to educate people. The comic books are drawing from children's artwork, but essentially giving message both to children and for adults. So the ways in which the iconic week has been envisaged, the conceptualizing things and putting them into some format are so, what can I say, are so motivating for me, are so inspiring for me. Can the ministry, which otherwise sits and works on budgets, which sometimes can be not so very interesting, come up with so many different ways of speaking about how this ministry actually has been serving the people, and in the role of also empowering them, coming up with books and digital gadgets with which people can, digital games with which people can be better informed. The story of the budget also was so beautifully captured in that crisp form, in a concise way. That way, when people sit and watch, actually, what are these budgets? There is a pattern in them, and that pattern has been so beautifully captured here. And if that is the way in which the videography shows it, I also commend the work which the Department of Economic Affairs, particularly Secretary Ajay Seth, has come up with in coming out with stamps to show how each decade has particularly had a governing principle for each of the decades. It actually beautifully captures how budget making has had patterns, and over the decades, it's only built up for the betterment of this country. So if we were to talk about the week, there were several such different thinking activities, all of which were brought out in order that we recall what the 75 years were all about. I also appreciate the concluding e-book, which captures the 7 departments' work in this week. The 7 departments, each of which did something to show what had happened in 75 years, and each of them now looking at the Amrit Kal. And the Amrit Kal is when all of us will have to work together so that this country, when it is 100, in 2047, for our youth, for our children, creates an environment which they can be very proud of. So I think what was started by Honorable Prime Minister this week has been rich in activity, rich in content, rich also in the efforts of every official. So I thank all of you all, and today is not a day for me to speak more. Even this evening, with so many different varieties of the activities, varieties of outputs, has put before you enough material to know what exactly the Ministry of Finance in its various departments, through various departments, and also the Corporate Affairs has done. And I would request each one of you, as and when you get an opportunity, at least one aspect of what has been shown here today or in the last 5-6 days, whichever suits your taste, you should be able to talk about it in your near and dear circles so that people get interested in the activities of government, and only then will there be a natural good curiosity to know about government, and that would make departments of the government to function with greater sense of alacrity. So when we talk about minimum government, it is only when people are watching us and watching us in a discerning way. And maximum governance is arrived at only when people ask the right questions and we are able to remove all the deadwood, undergrowth, and make it primed for a bright Amrit Kal, so that 2047 we are all able to, through our own selves or through the books or through our children, are able to see that India is now such a country where our youth, where our children, where our future lies, and all of them will be proud about it. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. I invite Shri S.M. Tata, Chief Commissioner, CGST Pune, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Honorable Finance Minister and Minister for Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Minister for Transport, Industry, Panchayat and Protocol in the Government of Goa, Shri Movin Godino, Secretary Revenue, Shri Tarun Bajaj, Secretary Department of Economic Affairs, Shri Ajay Seth, Chairman CBIC, Shri Vivek Johri, Chairperson CBDT, Srimati Sangeeta Singh, distinguished guests and colleagues, it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks at the conclusion of the Ministry of Finance iconic week celebrations of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. At the outset, we would like to thank the Honorable Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman for gracing this occasion and taking time off from her busy schedule to be with us today. Ma'am, the officers of the department fondly recollect your earlier visit in May 2018 when you had come to Goa to welcome the all-women crew of the Indian Navy who had circumnavigated the world in INSV Tarini. Goa has had the pleasure of being your host on visits which are always of some national significance. So also now for the inauguration of Dharohar. We are extremely happy to have you in our midst again, and I'm sure that all those who have heard you and interacted with you will continue to be inspired by you. We would also like to thank the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Pankaj Chaudhary, for agreeing to be the guest of honor at the inauguration of Dharohar. He had other certain compelling engagements, which is why he could not be with us till the conclusion of the function. We are also grateful to Shri Movin Godino, Honorable Minister in the Government of Goa, for being a constant source of support and encouragement to this event. Thank you, sir, for your presence today. Secretary Revenue Shri Tarun Bajaj has always been a continuous source of support and encouragement to all those working with him in the Department of Revenue. This was evident in the run-up to this event. We are grateful to you, sir, for your support in this entire exercise. We are also grateful to Shri Ajay Seth, Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, for managing to squeeze in the time to be present here today and be part of the function. I would like to thank Shri Vivek Johri, Chairman CBIC, for his constant encouragement, creative support and guidance to this whole event. I thank all the members of the board of CBIC for their unparalleled support in conducting this program. I thank Srimati Sangeeta Singh, Chairperson CBDT, and all the members of the CBDT for their cooperation and assistance in ensuring a seamless collaboration in the conduct of this event. I would specifically like to thank my counterpart, the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Srimati Shyama Bansya, for all the support and cooperation which she and her very enthusiastic and energetic team of officers in Goa extended to us in hosting this program. Ma'am, collaborating with you and your team was an extremely enriching experience for us. I'd like to thank the Directorate General of Taxpayer Services in both CBIC and CBDT and the members and their entire teams for their overall contribution and collaborative effort for ensuring the success of this event. We'd also like to thank Mrs. Annie George Matthew, Special Secretary Expenditure, and her team from the Department of Expenditure for the valuable support, especially for the expeditious financial approvals which are very necessary for conducting this program. We are also grateful to Srimati Swati Pandey, Postmaster General Goa Region, for joining in this program and enhancing its value. Thanks are also due to the Museum Implementation Committee of the CBIC, INTAC and the consultant Srimati Shambhavi Padukone Rana and her entire team, and the officers of CGST and Customs Goa for converting the dream of a national museum Dharohar into reality. I would also like to thank the Mayor of the Corporation of Panjim, all the officers of the Government of Goa for their invaluable assistance in the smooth conduct of this function. A special thanks to the management of the Marquinez Palace Hall, the protocol and police personnel of state for all the arrangements made for this function, and for the event management company Vinson. I'd be failing in my duties if I do not thank PIB and the members of the media for their presence, as also all the distinguished guests for participating in this event. While our hearts are large, time is limited, so any omission of any mention of a person or organization may kindly be excused. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
I now request all of you to rise for the national anthem. I request all officials and guests to remain in the auditorium.